There's fast, and then there's Bond fast. There's luxury, and then there's Aston Martin luxury. And then, there's the synergy of both, immortalized on the silver screen, drenched in elegance, turbocharged by adrenaline. This is the story of Aston Martin's most iconic cinematic partnership, a tale of roaring engines, smoking tires, and timeless cool. This is License to Thrill. The 007 legacy lives on. Welcome to Gearless Garage. Today, we're diving deep into the electrifying world of Aston Martin and its unforgettable connection to James Bond, from its dazzling first appearance in the 1964 classic Goldfinger, all the way to its heroic return in No Time to Die. So fasten your seatbelt and activate your ejector seat, because this ride is going to be legendary. 1. Goldfinger, where it all began. In 1964, the world met an icon. And we're not just talking about Sean Connery. When Goldfinger hit theaters, it wasn't just the spy work, action, or dry wit that captured audiences. It was that silver bullet of machinery, the Aston Martin DB5. Equipped with bulletproof glass, oil-slick dispensers, rotating license plates, and of course, the unforgettable ejector seat, the DB5 set a new benchmark not just for Bond gadgets, but for what cars could be in cinema. It was raw elegance, unfiltered British engineering, and Bond's most loyal metallic partner. And from that moment on, the DB5 became more than a car, it became a cultural monument. 2. The DB5 legacy, more than a movie star. What made the DB5 special wasn't just its gadgets, it was its DNA. Built with a 4.0-liter inline-six engine and boasting over 280 horsepower, the DB5 wasn't just a pretty face. It could hit 60 miles per hour in 8 seconds, blistering speed for the 60s, with a top speed of 145 miles per hour. Its body was handcrafted from aluminum alloy, its curves drawn from the kind of design philosophy usually reserved for fine art. Inside? Rich leather, polished wood, and enough swagger to fill a room. For Bond, the DB5 wasn't just transportation. It was an extension of his persona, suave, dangerous, and impeccably tailored. 3. A Return of the King. The DB5 reappears. After Goldfinger and Thunderball, the DB5 took a break. But like Bond himself, it always finds its way back. The 90s brought GoldenEye, where Pierce Brosnan reintroduced the classic Aston in a breathtaking chase through the hills of Monaco. It was a moment of cinematic poetry, new Bond, old soul. And audiences loved it. From Casino Royale to Skyfall, and finally No Time to Die, the DB5 has remained the heart of the Bond garage. Rebuilt, bullet-riddled, and reborn, it's now more than nostalgia, it's legacy on wheels. 4. No Time to Die, a final love letter. In No Time to Die, we witnessed perhaps the most emotional and action-packed tribute to the Aston Martin-Bond relationship. Daniel Craig's Bond doesn't just drive the DB5, he fights with it, bleeds in it, and uses every inch of its engineering to stay alive. The bulletproof shields, the Gatling guns hidden in the headlights, the tire smoke dispensers, all deployed in a cinematic ballet of fire and grit through the streets of Matera, Italy. This wasn't just fan service. It was reverence. A love letter. It reminded us that while technology evolves and bonds change, some things, like Aston Martin, remain timeless. 5. The other Aston stars. While the DB5 gets the limelight, Bond has driven an entire family of Aston Martins. There was the V8 Vantage Volante in the living daylights, rocket launchers, lasers, and all. The Vanquish in Die Another Day, with the controversial but undeniably cool cloaking device. The DBS in Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace, a raw, brutal beauty that fit Daniel Craig's grittier Bond like a glove. Each one brought something new. A sharper edge, a bigger bang, a deeper growl. And every time, Aston Martin delivered. 6. Engineering meets espionage. Why Aston Martin? Why not another luxury marque? Why not Ferrari, or Lamborghini, or even Bentley? Because Aston Martin is uniquely Bond. It blends elegance with firepower, poise with precision. Its design whispers sophistication, but its engine roars rebellion. The cars aren't flashy, they are purposeful. They don't shout, they smirk. Like Bond, they get the job done, and they look damn good doing it. 7. 007's Garage, evolution over time. Let's take a walk through Bond's garage, a living museum of automotive evolution. From the retro DB5 to the muscular DBS Superleggera, each model tells a story. The DB10, made exclusively for Spectre with only 10 units ever produced, was a futuristic sneak peek into what Aston Martin had planned. The Valhalla, Aston Martin's hybrid supercar, hints at the future. Sleek, electrified, and still unmistakably Bond. What's next? Could we see an all-electric Aston in the hands of the next 007? Only time will tell. 8. Beyond Bond, the cultural phenomenon. Thanks to Bond, Aston Martin isn't just a car brand, it's a status symbol. It appears in video games, art, fashion, and pop culture. You don't need to be a spy to want an Aston. You just need taste. Collectors now pay millions for Bond-driven models. Toy replicas line shelves. Posters adorn walls from London to Tokyo. Bond made Aston Martin famous, and Aston Martin made Bond unforgettable. 9. Real-life spy tech? Almost. So how much of the Bond car magic is real? Well, Aston Martin has dabbled in real-world versions of the gadgets, ejector seats not included. Special edition DB5 Goldfinger continuation models were built with replica spy gear, revolving plates, smoke machines, even simulated guns. While you won't be dodging Spectre agents, you'll feel like a secret agent every time you slide behind the wheel. 10. The emotional Bond. In No Time to Die, the DB5 isn't just a tool, it's a memory. As bullets tear into its frame, and Craig's Bond risks everything, it becomes clear. This car isn't just metal and leather. It's a time capsule. Of all the Bond eras. Of all the actors. Of all the hearts it's raced. It's the one thing, across 6 decades of cinema, that never changes. Because no matter the mission, no matter the villain, there's always time for an Aston Martin. And there you have it, a 50-year romance between British steel and British spycraft. Aston Martin didn't just accompany James Bond, it defined him. As new Bonds emerge and new missions unfold, one thing is certain. There will always be danger. There will always be charm. And somewhere in the shadows, waiting to roar to life, there will always be an Aston Martin. Thanks for watching Gearless Garage. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. What's your favorite Bond car moment? Until next time, stay fast, stay classy, and remember, style is forever.